Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and you're watching Bush Rat Knives. Anyway, in this video I'm going to do the 5 Ratbastard build. I was originally going to do this a little bit different. I was going to try to not talk as much. Maybe in future videos I'll do that, but this I kind of, because there were so many different things going on, building 5 knives, I kind of just reverted to the way I normally do things. As with life, things don't always go as planned, but you have to work through them, and of course that happened during the filming of this video. We get there in the end, I guess, overcame the obstacles, and the important thing is that I'm finished now. I wanted to quit halfway through. I was ready to be done making knives. Things just weren't going well. I wasn't flowing like I normally am. Anyways, this is the 5 Ratbastard build video. Let's get into it and let's see what we got. So that's what we're going to do. So first thing I got to do is we're going to cut these out. I have them marked already. I got all 5 of them on one piece of steel. So I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw and we're going to cut these out. All right, now I'm going to sand all those down, get rid of the black marks. I'm going to sand it down to the final shape. All right, when you're done, you get something like that. And then you repeat it 4 more times. All right, now we got to put the center lines on and mark our holes. I don't measure typically, but I want my scales to come to there. First pin right around there, something like that. That's what we're finna do. And then a center line, of course. And then we'll have to put the sharpening choil in around there. All right, there we go. Do that to the rest of them. Something like that. All right, now's the time to mark my center lines. And I have a new tool for that. Shout out to my buddy Zach, who said it makes him anxious every time he sees me using a measuring tool to mark lines. So the way this one works is you just kind of tilt it sideways, and it sucks though for marking the end. It doesn't get the end so good. Yeah, nothing to write home about, that's for sure. Go draw out some holes. Now, I gotta punch them. Let me punch them. God damn it. All right, now let's go drill some 1/4 inch holes. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, it's not even usable. All right, we'll try this one. But is it any gooder? All right, let's start over. Pretend like this never happened. Cool. That's a bueno. Okay. That's good enough. What the fuck? Ta-da. Repeat. Alright, it's on my head. Dust. What I got to do now is I'm going to put the primary bevels on here, then we'll heat treat it. I keep crappy old belts around, and that's what I have on there, because it really destroys the belts doing these angles. That's what we're going to do. Let's do that. All right, I took it down pretty far this time. I learned last time not to leave so much meat on there because after this is heat treated, there's no center mark anymore. So if you leave too much, you're guessing where the center is. So I took it down pretty far, and then that way I don't have to touch the edge too much at all after the heat treat. Live and learn, right? Learn from, not mistakes, but learn from your actions. I'm going to do that to the other 4, and then we'll move on to something else. Everything's sanded flat. I got the primary bevels on all of them. So now, you know the drill. It's time to heat treat these bastards. You got it like I do? So I'll see you in the dungeon. I'm going to heat up the forge here. We're going to heat treat and then quench the knife. Let that warm up. Heard Jesse yell over the pie he was sifting. Alright, we're getting close. Just get it nice and even. Alright guys, money shot. Alright guys, I went ahead, I heat treated all 5 of those. The last one's cooling off in my clamp right now. What I'm going to do now is throw them in the heat treat oven for 2 cycles, 400 degrees, 2 hours each. So let's do it. You want to watch me put them in again? Alright. See you in 2 hours. Alright, so I got all those out. Alright, I got all those out of the oven. They're now heat treated and tempered, and it's time to throw them on the flats and make sure I have a nice straight knife, nice flat surface to work from when I put my bevels on. So let's do that. Hey Siri, play some music. That's all I'm going to do. Sand them flat. I'll go up and grit later, but I just want to have a nice flat surface. All right, so the next step is to put the bevels on. So I'm going to head over back to the sander, and I'm going to finish these bevels. Let's go. What did I catch on fire? Back there. Yeah. Yeah, when you get up in the higher grits like that, you got to be careful because those fine little pieces of metal catch on fire. No big deal. Just don't burn your house down. Crisis avoided, I guess. All right, so that's the process there. I'm going to take my time and get the other 4 up to this, and then we'll meet up again. I'm going to do something different with this last knife. I did just normal flat grinds on the other 4, but I'm going to try to do a hollow grind on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the big wheel attachment and put on a fresh belt. We'll see what happens. All right, got a wheel. Oh, fuck. I dropped the handle in the sludge bucket. All right, let's try it. Left my damn headphones upstairs. I'll be back. All right, let's try this. I didn't even bring my phone down. Oh my god. All right, no music. I got a little nick up here, but I can probably sand that down. That thing is super thin. Wicked. It's gonna be wicked thin. It's gonna be sharp. Let me throw the flats on real quick and see if I can fix that nick. Now that that's done, they're all sanded and, you know, whatever, ready to go. They're now ready for some logos. And for you guys that have watched me for a little bit, you know I do things pretty cheap, and I've been using Q-tips and salt water. I've purchased for myself a brand used Etch-O-Matic. Ta-da. Shit looks like it's from the 1980s. We're gonna give it a shot. So I'm gonna clean the oil off of here and get a good surface to work from. Right? Right. A little bit of acetone. Get the oil off. Where's my stencils? Here we go. I got a little book. Keep my stencils in so they don't, because they were curling from drying. So I got a little book to put them in. Keep them flat. One, two, three, 4, 5. We'll do 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, man, that looks perfect. Needs a little bit of Windex on there. The nice thing about this is I don't have to sand it afterwards. I mean, that's like perfect. It's pretty damn good. All right, I got all the logos on. I'm gonna stonewash 2 of them, like I said. After I got the logo on, I went up and I scrubbed them with dish soap and a brush, you know, to get any oils and whatever else off of it. Now that they're oil free, they have the logos on them. I'm gonna throw them in the acid for about 15 minutes. So let's do that. I'm putting them both in. Should be fine. So, oh yeah, you probably want to see. Oh no! Put one to one side and one to the other side. There we go. Okay, let them sit for 15 minutes. While we're waiting for that, I'm gonna pick some colors. This is my Ratbastard line of knives, and I like to do these in, you know, funky colors. Let's see what I got. Pink, blue, white, and black. All different layers. White and sky blue, alternating. We have a Tiffany green, and we got some just red and black and acid green and black. Do we want liners? And I think we do. I think we're gonna want liners. I got green and black, black pins, black liners, sky blue and white. Whatever, orange pins. Tiffany blue, man, what should I do with this? All right, Tiffany blue's getting white pins, white liners. I'm not doing any liners on this one. This one also will get red on the outside, black pins, and we're getting the black liner. So that's the setup. All right, I did 10 minutes in the acid. That's what they look like now. All right, let me go scrub these real quick. I'll be back. Now, I've gone over before how I stonewash. I'm just gonna do it real quick. I still don't have a tumbler for this. I use a water bottle. Inside that water bottle, we have rocks. WD-40. Put it in here and mix her around for a while. And the longer you do it, the more it looks stonewashed. All right, we're gonna do the hollow grind. This one's the hollow grind. Like I said, I'm doing white out, orange liner. Let's mark these liners. All right, let me go zip this off and then I guess zip it in half. I'm doing a lot of zipping. Zippy zip. All right, let me go do this real quick. I'll be right back. There they are. A little bit of acetone. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mix up some epoxy. Well, all right, whatever. All right, I'm just gonna throw these in the clamp with some, just some cardboard between them. I went ahead and I glued all the liners to the scales that they're gonna be on. They're all done. I'm gonna sand the liner side down flat, and then I'm gonna stick these together so I can start working on the handles. They need to be as straight as possible to get everything lined up properly. So what I'm going to do now is glue both sides of the scales together. Let me show you how I glue those together. I've done it a bunch of times on here before, but maybe somebody's new. So here's what we're doing. Here's how I do it. I use a masking tape. I cover the liners with tape. I fold the edges over a little bit so I can see the actual shape, but none of this is going to make it in the video anyways. So what I do now is take a little bit of my glue that is closed up again. All right, a little bit of glue on here. And I take the activator and spray the other side and line them up. Now, if you don't have activator and glue, you could just put these together how you want and tape them. They'll stay together for everything except for when you cut it out to the final shape. They might fall apart then, but everything's already lined up like the pins and whatnot. You just want to make sure you have enough in the front and in the back to finish your scales to where you want them. Line up the first hole, put your pin in, and then I guess I'm going to have to beat this bastard in. All my holes are there, lined up perfectly. Now I just make the outline of what I'm going to cut out while everything's in place. If you're like me and you don't measure, it's important to remember what blade goes to what scales. So I put a mark on them. This, like a V. This is a V. This is a V. So I know. Line it up, see what it looks like. Yeah, that'll give me enough to sand. All right, I'm gonna cut that off on the bandsaw. All right, so that's done. Everything's ready. Look at that, now my tape's not even gonna wanna come off. Just one of those days. There's an important step before you take them apart like I did and have to put them back together. You gotta do the angle. You gotta round this off and put your angle on there. I skipped it. So I'm gonna, do the step I should have did before I took them apart. All right, so now I'm gonna put the angle on here, so it's not a cliff. The important thing is that they're even to each other, because it would look funny on the blade otherwise. Now I'm just gonna hand sand this progressively finer grit just to get the vertical lines out. So now that that's done, I can break them apart. I'm gonna put a tray down. I don't want to get epoxy all over everything. Perfect. Nothing is going wrong. This is all exactly how I wanted it to be. All right, let's get some epoxy mixed up. Smear, smear. Gotta work quick. Some in the holes. All right, that's together. Let me hurry up and clamp it. All right, let that dry. This isn't going well. She told me I had something on my head. Make me look like an idiot. All right, that is clamped and it's curing. I'm gonna go get the other ones to this point, and then when they're all cured, we'll come back. Got them all the same spot. They're all glued up, ready to go. I'll go ahead and get this flat, like I said, and take the rest down to the metal, and then we can shape after that. Okay, now we are illuminated. All right, now that I got a nice flat surface to work from, I'm gonna go drill out the lanyard hole. I'm not gonna show you. It's just putting a drill bit through the hole you already made. All right, now I'm gonna bring the rest down to the metal here. I'm gonna try and cut down on some of the dust by actually using the shop vac here. Maybe that'll do something. Keep as much dust off this as possible. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put an angle on my table here, break these corners, you know, smooth out the handle a little bit, give it a taper from the back to the front, and hand sand it. Put a mark on here where I want my angles to come to. All right, something like that. Oh my fucking God. I had a major setback. I nicked the blade on the knife that I was showing everything on. Looks pretty good so far. Like, it's a cool looking knife, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. See that little nick at the top? It's a scratch. And at this point, for me to make that completely disappear would be very difficult. It would end up looking worse than it does. So this one will be greatly discounted on my site. So the next step is the fun part. We got a hand sand. Once that's done, they'll all be finished. And I was so mad when I did this. There's nothing like messing the blade up almost at the final step. That sucked. You know, you got to push through. I was ready to give up after that. I was ready to trash the whole thing. I didn't even give a shit. Let's go ahead and hand sand this one. What I do, hand sanding, I use just a sponge. Give me a soft back. And whatever sandpaper I got laying around, we'll start with 120 and work my way up. But this is all I do. Remove any of the imperfections. If it looks good and feels good, it's good. You can always tape your blade up. If I would have put a couple layers of masking tape on here, that would have saved it. But I didn't. This time I skipped that step. I usually do it, especially when you're getting this close to the blade, like that much of a taper. Oh, man, I was so pissed. God, should have put masking tape on it, but I didn't. Live and learn. I'll go up and grit until I'm happy, and then we'll go over the finished products. But, all right, guys, they're all 5 done, all finished. I do need to throw an edge on them. I'll put the finished product up with the sheath up on my Etsy, which is bushratknives.etsy.com. All right, let's start with the problem child. This is a hollow grind, sky blue, got some orange liners in there. We have a scuff. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't have the blade taped up, and I touched the belt grinder with it. It's not deep or anything. It's a surface scratch. So this one's going to be discounted on the store. So if you're interested in this one, it will be less expensive for sure. So that's that one. I think it looks good with the orange and the blue. Next, we have, this is one of the stonewash ones. Acid green pins, black liners. I think that turned out pretty nice too. This design is like the funky one. It comes in cool colors, and because yeah, it's a weird, different shape. So I tried to do the colors a little different. But there's the green and black one. That looks pretty. They all look good. I said that already. Next, we have the red and black. Red liners, or black liners, black pins. It's a good knife. They're all good knives. So here it is. Let's just do it. Let's not talk. I'm just going to show you the knives and not talk. Okay, next we have the Tiffany blue or green with white liners, white pins, and the stonewash finish. And last we have this rainbow colored jawbreaker gobstopper looking knife. No liners on this one. There's so many different colors. I didn't put liners on it. But anyway, so that's the knife. Let's look at them all. That's it. All right, guys, that's the video. We got there in the end. It was a struggle for a little bit. I was ready to give up. Please take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. It's free for you. Helps me out a great deal. And if you see anything on here that you like, it is available on the Etsy store. I'll link it below, but it's bushratknives.etsy.com. I'm just not all there. Fancy meeting you here. You want to see something? You want to see me make a knife? I can do that. You want to watch me? You freak. Still there?